are live.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all across the world. I'm so excited to be here today. Started something brand new, guys. I'm here with Gabby. I call her Gabby. I call her Gabriella. I call her Gabby. This is my sister Gabby. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. I'm blessed. I'm thankful for this opportunity.
Yeah. I'm excited to be here with you.
Absolutely.
This is my personal counselor, guys. I love her to death. She gets me right.
Yep.
I just wanted to reach out to you and possibly see if we can help some other people out in the world. I made a post just the other day, and I was just kind of reaching out to my friends saying, hey, listen, never, received counseling before, never reached out before. Please just try it.
Mm-hmm.
Just give it a try. And I'm thankful that I have you to call.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't have no clue, right? I'll lose it. And I'll call it like, yo, sunshine. And she has to get me right, and it is very, very, very helpful. I've been very blessed. I've been blessed to come out of some situations, having her around. I just want you to kind of introduce yourself first, and then we're going to go into a couple of questions.
Yeah.
And just let everybody know what it is that you do and what service that you offer.
Wonderful. So for anybody who does not know me, I'm Gabrielle Zelina. A lot of people do call me Gabby. And first and foremost, I have known this man since I was 17. So we've been riding a long time.
Absolutely.
And that makes it even easier to support you, you know what I mean? Because I know what we both come from and the things we've had to move through. So in my journey of self-healing, because I had a challenging childhood like most Black, Latina, Indigenous people, I had a challenging childhood. And so it was important for me to not necessarily get just clinical help because of those indigenous roots that we have. I wanted indigenous healing, like the way we used to do it decades, centuries ago. Clinical therapy is great for some people. And so I took the initiation to kind of like get under some people that I saw were offering what I wanted. I started right here in Jacksonville getting my life coach certification. And then I became a hypnotherapist. I learned multiple layers of ceremonial healing. And I think that is one of the biggest problems we have in Black, Indigenous, and Latino communities is that we don't have ceremony anymore. We don't have that African dance. We don't have that Native dance. We don't have these outlets to let out frustration, sadness, and anger. You know what I mean? So what you do as a DJ is even therapeutic and healing. That's a ceremony.
Wow, that's crazy.
Do you understand? You're a ceremonial headmaster.
That is awesome. Wow.
And so I just took the time to seek out the ways of healing that felt really clean and therapeutic and effective is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Sometimes we go and talk to people, they have no idea of our background, they have no idea of what it is to be a Black, Indigenous, or Latina displaced person in America. And so I've done the work for the last 12 years, doing my own personal healing, which is lifelong, y'all. Please don't ever think a guru, a teacher is perfected. We're not perfected beings. It's a lifelong thing where we're all doing the work.
Jumped into one of my questions that I was going to ask you, and it was going to come within the process. But one of my questions to you was going to be like, what about like yourself? Like, do you like seek counseling, or do you feel like you've reached like this plateau, where you don't need counseling anymore, or you know what I mean?
Well, at this point. So one of the tools that I use when working with people is astrology. Deion already knows I am big about astrology. It's a part of your psychological makeup. And I think we're becoming more awake to that and not shunning it away because of religions, looking at it a certain way. But astrology is literally your psychology. And so once I can own my psychology via astrology, I can embrace myself. I can embrace my dark shadows. All of us are supposed to have shadows. Your shadow is actually where your power is. And when I say shadow, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the parts of you that operate that you don't really know about. And you see them come, and you like, damn, I didn't even realize I did. I didn't even know I was possessive. I didn't even know I act like that when I'm in love.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so to answer your question, I have had amazing teachers and supporters. And where I am right now, I was a part of a healing and life coaching collective where it was a bunch of us coaches working together, working with all backgrounds of people. And I did that for 5 years. I became the head coach. I became the COO of the company. And I recently broke off last year to do my own thing and make sure my own signature, my own God-given path is what is being put out there. Because sometimes when you get in a collective, you're following just what the collective wants. And that's not, I don't think that that's what the Most High wanted for me anymore.
Absolutely.
So for the last 6 months or so, it's like, I feel like the Creator is like, Gabrielle, you've initiated in this. You've taken that. You've been through this process. You've been through that. It's time for you to sit still and integrate everything and be your own healer, your own voice, your own direction. And so that's where I am now is, I mean, I still need support. But as a little girl who was alone a lot, I've learned how to just kind of feed myself, you know, and it's important for me to be solid in that to help other people. It's important that I really have a strong resource and boundary to help other people. And so I still find myself, last year, it almost wiped me out, a childhood trauma of mine. And let me tell you, you're never done. And so when people, you know, we get in these places where we're like, dang, I thought I healed that, I went back. We have to understand healing happens like this. And I'm talking about a staircase. Yes, it's a circle, but it's going up and down too. So imagine a seashell, like a spiral, like a coil, like our hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you'll come back around to something, be like, dang, I thought I had graduated from that. And then you realize, oh, I'm back here for another piece. I'm back here for another perspective.
That is funny that you even pulled that up, because during my journey here and, you know, my process of healing, I've learned a lot, especially dealing with that childhood trauma.
I tell you.
You know, until we learn how to tap into that, and I'm very thankful for you, like, just teaching me how to tap into, you know, where those pains come from, where those hurts come from, where, you know, where is it that, what makes us freeze up, or what's making us stop motion, what's making our path stop, like what is it, what are we, and a lot of times the hurt, the pain, the trauma, the frustration, all the things that we went through younger, it really affected us, and some people are still carrying those things today, and it's weight.
It's heavy.
It's weight. It's so much weight. I know me personally, I can attest to just a few things of my own that I still carry and I'm still working on, you know, shaking. I'm still working on it. You know what I mean? I can say that honestly because, and I noticed that certain things would trigger me and it would kind of make me have that childhood feeling of where that came from.
Right.
And, you know, coming with you and getting on this journey and starting this healing process, I had a chance to go back to a situation, in a sense, I'll call it the person that caused a certain issue in my life. I ran back into him, and it was the scariest feeling.
It opened it back up in you. You felt like that one was done.
I literally felt like I went all the way back to childhood, and it was so crazy to deal with that and to feel that. It was like, oh my God, I was like, what is this? And I actually had to go talk to them. I'm like, look, you messed me up, man. Like, look, this is this, you know, like, like, I don't remember that. Right. You know, we're all so young and everything, but it was like, to deal with those things. And I think about sometimes when I talk to different people and they're like, yo, you know, I'm on this and this and that. But then I watch them walking in those same pathways, those same wavelengths, and it's like, you're not watching it, that you're doing the same thing. Now you're going down that same road.
Right.
So how do one like starts or like just refocus and kind of get yourself to where you can start like winding yourself out of that road? Or I know counseling is going to be
I want to leave your tribe with an amazing tip. And so what Deion is saying is like, I mean, even last year, what I went through with my family, it came back and just knocked me off my kilter completely, like to the point where I just could not even move for months, like mentally move. You know what I mean? Like you're stuck mentally. And so one of the things that you want to do is acknowledge, I've been here before. You have to say, I have been here before. When was the first time I felt this way? Because you're not mad at the person that's doing it right now. You know what I mean? Like if somebody triggers you and you're feeling abandonment or neglect or whatever, you're not mad at this particular person. You are reliving when it happened to you at 6, 7, 8, 9. You know what I mean? And so first, you want to acknowledge, I'm feeling this way because I've been through a similar situation. I'm not really mad at this person. And so one of my indigenous techniques is in the moment. Once you identify, you know, who that first initial person was that you went through that with. See, as children, we couldn't cuss motherfuckers out. And I'm going to say it. Right. We couldn't cuss people out. We couldn't defend ourselves. We couldn't get retribution. But as an adult, you can close your eyes. You can remember this person when you were younger and you can cuss them the fuck out. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that's in your body. It's in your cells. Like when you get nervous about something or when you're angry, you feel this in your DNA. So when somebody hurt you when you were young, it's still in your body. I don't care if you're 30, 40 years older now. It still lives in your DNA. And so one of the things, an indigenous technique, whoever is watching this, please share this right now, because this is very powerful and important, what I'm about to share with you all. And we'll take questions later. But you want to literally close your eyes and see the face of that person. Now, because it's in your DNA and cells, you can look up EFT or tapping. Tapping is a thing that helps your body, like, you know how they say, pinch me, is this real? Yeah. Tapping really gets into your DNA and kind of shakes you up. And so start cursing the person out or saying what it is that you really wanted to say. You hurt me when I was 7 years old, when you didn't show up to my graduation, or I was leaving kindergarten and you didn't come. It hurt my feelings. And it's okay that you were not there. I forgive you. And I'm still amazing even if you weren't there. Because now you have to affirm to yourself that the adult version of you is good. Even if that situation when you were younger made you feel like you weren't good enough for somebody's love, that you weren't good enough, period. It could be somebody, it could be physical abuse. Oftentimes as children, definitely back in the 80s, we got our ass whoops as children, and that broke our spirit. And so some of us are carrying wounds and afraid to get close to people because we're afraid of all these different kinds of abuses that can show up, like physical. And so, you know, even in a situation of sexual abuse, physical abuse, you have to let that pain out. You have to give it space to just air out. And so having an internal experience, and as a hypnotherapist, I take people through this process if they don't feel, you know, if they feel afraid to do it themselves, because even in the mind, sometimes we just don't want to go back alone. You know, so I take people through a process. Yeah, it can be a very scary process, especially if you've not, you know, some people, we don't want to think about it. Yeah. We don't even want to recall it because we're going to shake, we're going to cry, we're going to break down, you know, we're going to be sad. Maybe that person's still in our life and we might want to kill them. Like, seriously, this is real talk.
Holding that, like you're saying now, like, so holding that, what do you think that's doing to us, like naturally and physically, just holding on to those things like that? Because I know a lot of people still, they're like, I'm not dealing with it. I don't even want to think about it. It pisses me off so bad. I don't even go and touch that. I don't want to. How do you just like get that strength to just say, okay, I'm going to deal with that.
Right.
You know?
Right. And well, one of the things that catapults us forward, and you're like, well, what happens when we hold it?
Mm-hmm.
Most cancer is metaphysical, because holding means blockage. It means holding this. We're at least 70% water, so we're meant to flow. We're meant to experience things and just move on. You know, every time you look at a river, it never looks the same. Every time you look at the ocean, it never looks the same. And even though we are water, matter, and earth, sometimes that earth of stuckness, rigidness kind of holds us. And so it is not healthy. Definitely in our community, we have some of the highest rates in cancers, and they create blockages in our lymphatic system. It creates blockages in our minds. Sometimes we have memory loss because it's our body's way of protecting itself. And so, you know, people who are having cancer treatments and chemotherapy, they're using outside forces to make you flow again. I'm going to say that one more time. They're using outside forces to help you flow again. But you can make a decision to flow again by, you know, getting the help that you need, talking through it. Sometimes some of us have not even voiced certain things we've been through because we're too ashamed. I have been through things. I'm a very perfectionist woman. I've been through things that I've had feelings that I would not even let leave my mouth.
Yeah. Understood.
You know what I mean? And so that's also a holding. That's creating a blockage. And that's another reason why we're not able to manifest what we want, because we're holding on so tight to what we don't want to happen. We don't have room for what we actually want to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so
That's
talking, that's a blockage. And so talking it out, having a neutral ear, and, you know, in our profession, and I can't speak for all coaches and therapists, but, you know, being a neutral, energetic, where somebody can come and just lay it down.
It's so important. It's so important, y'all. Like she's saying, like just having that neutral party. And for me, like I remember, and I'm gonna tell y'all, this was one of the funniest things that I experienced with her. I was coming and I'm just going off. I'm like, sister, this happened, another one, this. And she was just like, okay, well, did you look at that? Cause that and that. And I'm like, did you hear me? Like, did you hear me? Like, I'll tell you. Did you not hear me? And I said that, and they did that, and they did that. Yeah, but look at that. Yeah. And until I stop and look at that. Right. And when we're saying that, we're talking about what we allow into our life. Absolutely. We want to point other people as the blame for certain things, but we're the creator. We're the co-creator working with the Most High for everything. And so that is definitely my number one tip is, if you want the life and the healing and just the love and just the self-love you want, you have to be willing to be completely accountable for everything going on in your life. Absolutely. And that's where you got to ask yourself, man, how did I create this? How did I create this? And so what Deion is talking about is when he had the epiphany moment of, I created that. I didn't do that. You know, and so sometimes we just don't know that we are creating it based off things we believe. Yeah. Now, here's a wonderful thought for everybody. You buy your phone, whether it's Android or Apple, every month or two, there's an upgrade. The app will be like, hey, we need a new code. We need to update this program so it can keep working better and effectively. Mm-hmm. Who doing that? Bugs. Right. Going in there fixing bugs. Talking to your therapist is your upgrade. Yes. A good one that's going to lead you back to you as the co-creator of your life. You know what I mean? And so we have to constantly be doing these things, whether it's self-help videos, self-help books, just taking in new knowledge. You have to constantly upgrade. Once we get to the point where we think we can't learn anything else about life or ourselves, you've lived. You have lived, and there's no upgrades. So, you know, like I tell people, we trying to use 1900 marital structures for 2022 and wondering why we're having challenges. We are a species of evolution. We're supposed to grow and change. So even structures can't stay the same. Absolutely. Mental constructs can't stay the same.
And so these are some of the things, like we have to be willing to flow. So that's another great thing. Go to the river. Jacksonville is full of rivers. If anything, I want to research how many rivers we have, because there's a lot of potential for healing. Go to the river as often as you can. Watch that water. Ask that water to just help you flow more and be in the flow of life instead of harboring things. And so,
St. John's River got 9 different currents.
Listen, wow, I had no idea.
9 different
currents.
Wow. Yeah.
St. John's River is a very mysterious river because it's the only river that's similar to the Nile River over in Egypt. So we're in a very spiritual, healing, beautiful place. And I definitely think people of color, like, we really need to tap into that power, because we don't understand that
about that water. Like, I find it's like my go-to now, even, working out on the water. I find that's like my go-to place. If I'm, for whatever reason, when I'm on the water, it's like my mind can just relax and I'm so calm.
Mm-hmm.
I am at like 1,000 on calmness.
Yes.
Seriously, like, what is it about that water, you think?
It's about reminding us of our nature, which is to flow. You know what I mean? Because we have went completely technology. We've went completely technology where, we're in concrete all the time. We're in these buildings without windows. We don't put our feet on the earth anymore. We really come away from nature, where we're not getting enough of daily connection with where we come from, which is the earth. And so being in front of that water is reminding you of, this is what life is constant growth. The only thing that is consistent is change.
Mm-hmm.
And water is completely changeable, completely mutable. It can go from water to ice to mist to rain. It can change so many ways. And so being in front of that water, it just hydrates your spirit. Like, it hydrates your mind to remember. And one of the things is water's connected to, if you know any of the deities like Yemaya, the mother, the goddess of the sea, that's that nurturing energy. Even if, like, for me, I've had challenges with my relationship with my mom, but that ocean is my mama. That river is my mama. I know I can go there and feel like just replenished.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, something got me.
Every time for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally every time.
Yeah. Yep.
Let me ask you this here. How would someone know? Because I made a statement at the end of my little paragraph there on my social media page, and I was like, you got to find the right one.
Yeah.
Now, you were not my first counselor.
Mm-hmm.
I had made a conscious decision to seek counseling, and I reached out to a couple of different people. I'm just gonna say it wasn't my race. Mm-hmm. Not saying that it couldn't have been beneficial or whatever, but it wasn't.
I just want to make sure we're still alive, y'all.
Yeah, I knew that first one, and I almost gave up. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do this. And I was like, no, I'm gonna try again. And I remember coming to you, and it was like, that is mm-hmm. what I need. Because what you need is someone that is gonna tell you the absolute truth, whether you like it or not. Because we'll get so bullheaded, and your friend is gonna tell you what you want to hear because they want to stay your friend. They don't want to push you. They don't want to step on your toe. They don't want you feeling some type of way. So they're gonna, but that may not be the best answer for you, the best technique for you, the best move for you.
Right.
And just having that right guidance, that right help, someone that's going to help you look at it from a neutral zone and say, hey, nope, nah, you need to look at it like this. It's so needed. It's just so needed.
It is very needed. And, I think some of the things to look for. So when I see therapists placing blame on anybody, that's an automatic disqualification, because you're, and in my authentic words, you are God. You're a part of God. You're made in the image of God. So how can we blame anybody for anything? So if you see a therapist placing blame on anyone, whether it's a partner, a spouse, a parent, that's not the one for you, because you need somebody who's going to fortify that you are the creator of your existence, because that's where your power is. And another thing is biases around race, gender, all these different things. You know what I mean? If you are a Black man, you need a counselor, a therapist who understands that, you know, as a collective, Black men have been through a certain thing, but also that you need a place to soften. You know what I mean? You need that. You need to know. You need. I mean, I think men can feel that. You know what I mean? They can feel whether, okay, am I going to be judged in this space for my places of growth opportunities or whatever. You know, some people call that weaknesses. I call them growth opportunities, because nobody's strong everywhere. There's no possible way. And so some of those biases, if you see them downing a particular faction, you find yourself I'm not going to a therapist who's like, Black women are this, Latina women are that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, I need somebody who's going to remind me, no matter what I've been through, I'm the creator and I have the power and the control to create what I want. And who I've identified myself as is not who I have to be. If I was a rape victim 15 years ago, I don't need you reminding me that that's what I've been through.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just giving me pity or telling me that I just need to get over it. Now that's some things. I mean, our friends and family do that to us quick, so don't talk to them, y'all.
I was bad about that. I honestly, I remember you kind of getting on me at one point because that was one of my things. I was like, all right, that was 5 years ago. Right. Can we just? But you know, I really thank God for you, because I was so closed-minded, and I never really looked at things like that to see, look, that's hurtful. And just because you're done with it and you've decided you're going to change over, you're going to be better now, that person's still hurt. They're still living that. They're still triggered by things. They're still dealing with that, and you're trying to rush them along and say, just get over it.
Exactly.
Fellas, when I tell y'all that's the worst move you can do.
Yeah.
That's the worst move you can do. Try to just yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even any family member, but especially with your spouse, your partner, and definitely your children, is like, we're humans, we make mistakes. And children are so resilient because, you know, my children have been through stuff with me because of trauma I went through in my generation, and I was afraid to recreate that. I was doing all kind of stuff to prevent a trauma from happening, that my children went through something. Once I had the mindset and the maturity to understand, I can communicate this to my children, that I was running from a personal fear of mine, and mommy created a situation where it's scary for all of us. Yeah. Can you empathize with me? One thing I think we lack in the Black community, period, is empathy for our people, for our Black men. They are not freaking steel. They're not made of steel. They have hearts. They have emotions. They have feelings. Black women too. We have to empathize with each other and understand, yes, we know what we've been through as a collective of people, but you know what I mean? We just are not exuding the empathy that keeps us connected. So everybody just runs off in their other corners because they don't feel heard, seen, or felt. You know what I mean? And so that empathy piece of, wow, you feel this way.
And can you kind of break down a little bit for the people that may not even understand what it is to be an empath or to be empathetic? Like, for me, I'm an empath. I know it. Like,
I definitely feel that way about you. You've always been a person. So being an empath just means you can put yourself in that person's shoes. When you see somebody standing on the road trying to ask for money, in that moment, you can see, well, you know what, God, that could be me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now you like, man, I got blessings. This man ain't got nothing. At least I got $50 in my pocket right now. Yeah. And that's more impersonal, but let's go personal with our spouses or, you know, people that we're in a relationship with. You know, just say, you know when you're doing something messed up that's outside the agreement that you made with your partner and something happens.
Absolutely.
You have to be empathetic. Like, what if that was me? What if this was reversed?
Yeah.
And so sometimes before we fly off the handle and try to defend our character that's already jacked up, why not just say, you know what, baby, let me think about what you're saying in a minute. And really feel it.
We do not. And a lot of it has to do with not knowing, you know, like I said, that's why I'm so thankful for the counseling, because certain things, it wasn't there.
No.
It wasn't there, and I would not even take the time to even turn and look down that street and say, well, is that a possibility, or could that have happened that way, or did I cause that? And it's like, wow, man, like I'm telling y'all, therapy is amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. Like, this is our first session, but it won't be our last.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing some continued topics. Where we can bring some people. I mean, imagine how many people have never really had someone tell them, hey, why don't you go try counseling? Why don't you go and try to seek some help? You know what I mean? And most of our black men, we're like, yo, I'm not going to talk to nobody.
Right.
I ain't going to shut my mouth.
No, because we're shamed. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be transparent really quick. You know, I've always been a creative artist who just made a bag. You know what I mean? Like DJing, you get your guap and you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've done that since I was 15. And so like really establishing business credit and all of these things that I feel like I should already know, I was so embarrassed to even ask for help from somebody, because I feel like people look at me like she got her stuff together. So even emotionally and spiritually, we get embarrassed because we feel like, oh, you know what I mean? I should have this together. And I'm just too scared to even ask for help because I should have it together. And now I'm ashamed that I'm even asking for help. And it's like, okay, if you stay that way, you're going to keep getting bad results. Financially, emotionally, mentally, physically. You know, if you're a person who wants to lose weight, you don't know how to do anything, you're going to need a personal trainer. So what we have to understand is there's a...
Say you're actually healing or in a healing process.
So what healing looks like, for one, is taking that accountability that, you know, in some instance, I created this in some way. You know what I mean? And I mean, let me tell y'all, some of this healing that we need to do is not easy. And that's why the astrology piece is really important. And so I'm going to say it like this is, some energies have, part of their field. Now the abuse occurs, you know what I mean? And so what that means is, and I'm a person who is thriving sexual abuse as a child. Makeup to attract that kind of stuff. And so I'm here to learn healthy boundaries. You know what I mean? And so now I can have that conversation and say, oh wow, this is what I've been through. I know exactly what I did. And people are like, well, what about rape and all this stuff? You know, I don't go deep into that, but there are elements that attract those kind of things, even when we're not trying to. And so understanding how that into your existence and celebrate, you know, be a of things, but those are the ways that you know you're healing, when you've acknowledged it's not super duper painful or anything like that, and now you just just like you for your muscle and you're like, oh, I had an accident on my leg, it's healing.
That acknowledgement is very, very big. And like you said, it's a part of the healing process. And it's crazy to say it like that, but it is. It's like you have to get the layer going. That first layer there is about acknowledging.
Right. Acknowledgement and awareness is always the key. And some of us, we just get so scared to even acknowledge anything because you don't want the shame, guilt feelings. Like even if you're your child or cause a partner harm, you have to understand, like, even in situations like that, that was the way you got it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's not wrong. It's just like, okay, well, why didn't you feel full enough to say what I needed? It's never what you do, is do it. That's parts of healing is we go up creating our lives in ways that are teaching us like, oh, I don't have to do it that way. I can do it a different way. And so I just think that as you acknowledge and make sure that you can do things differently, kind of like opens you up to learn about it and see it in other people, whether that's through a book or a movie. Because I that's what most of our yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing, amazing, amazing.
There we go. Check comments if you have any questions. Does anybody want to ask any questions? You guys can find my practice at Married to the Mirror. I'm on Facebook. We can put those in the comments. Married to the Mirror is about that self accountability. It's about looking in the being married to yourself. Married to the Mirror is a very powerful process. I'm also a hairstylist, so people just and get that thing that way and kind of double up, get their hair done, and have a session, and that's really dope because this is a one-on-one space, and it is very powerful. I'm just thankful to be a vessel to wait for a few months. I don't work with anybody unless I'm full, and so when I have people on the waiting list, it's because God has me doing something on myself, and I'm very integrity about that. I'm like, I can't serve other people until I serve myself. I'm definitely in a place where I'm happy to serve, and yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I just want to anyone that's thinking about seeking help is try it. Give it a try. It's like being able to go to someone outside neutral is word. That's neutral. I mean this I'm a straight truth here, and we're gonna learn how to get to it. We're gonna hang out, and you'll know. I feel like the right therapist will know.
Yeah.
You absolutely know. Like, okay, I made a connection here. This thing is what I need.
It is, and you have to be ready for the challenge because I'm gonna tell you, a good therapist or counselor is gonna always bring you back to yourself. Sometimes you're gonna be mad. Like,
she got me. Did you not hear me? I was snapping my. Listen.
Right. Yeah.
But it's very necessary. It's very necessary to tap in, y'all. And it's time. It's just for us as a culture. People just need things to get a different perspective. I mean, because like you were saying, it's how it is, and I'm thankful, and I'm still growing